10th task we have under the people domain is to build shared understanding. Building a shared understanding among the project team's members and stakeholders is crucial to ensuring the alignment and preventing conflicts and achieving the project goals. PMP exam evaluates your ability here to identify and resolve misunderstandings, foster consensus, and ensure all parties are working towards the common objective. The first key enabler we have under this task is to break down situation to identify the root cause of misunderstanding. The exam questions here may present scenarios where miscommunications or differing um, uh, preparation disrupt the project progress. The correct responses to such questions will emphasize the root cause analysis techniques, such as if you recall that we've discussed the five whys or the fishbone diagrams to identify the underlying reasons for misunderstanding and address them effectively. The next key enabler here we have is to survey all necessary parties to reach a consensus. The PMP exam may test your ability to gather the input and feedback from all of the relevant stakeholders. This includes facilitating discussions, ensuring everyone has an opportunity to share their perspective, and identifying the areas of agreement and to document them. Effective answers here would often highlight the use of collaborative techniques like brainstorming sessions, workshops, or focus groups as key techniques here. We have also this key enabler which to support the outcome of parties' agreement. And here is the situational questions may evaluate how you maintain the stakeholders' buy-in and commitment after reaching consensus. The correct answers to such questions will demonstrate the importance of documenting the agreements, providing a constant updates, and reinforcing the shared goals to ensure that all parties remain aligned and invested in the agreed upon outcomes. The next key enabler here we have is to investigate potential misunderstanding. The PMP exam may include scenarios where you proactively identify areas for potential confusion before they escalate. The correct responses to these questions should highlight the importance of active listening, clear communication, and periodic checks with the team members and stakeholders to clarify the expectation and to address the ambiguities. The final exam tip here for this task is when you are answering the PMP questions on building shared understanding, focus on using structured approaches to analyze and resolve misunderstandings. Leverage tools such as communication plans, stakeholder engagement strategies, and facilitation techniques to foster the collaboration and consensus. Ensure that your answers of these questions reflect the PMI emphasis on proactive communication and stakeholder alignment to prevent and understand or address the misunderstanding effectively. Now let's talk about the 11th task under the people domain, which engage and support the virtual teams. With the growing prevalence of remote and distributed teams, project managers must adopt at engaging and supporting the virtual teams. The PMP exam evaluates your ability to address the unique needs of virtual team members, select and implement engagement tools and strategies, and assess the effectiveness of virtual collaboration. The first key enabler we have here under engaging and supporting the virtual team is examining the virtual team member needs. The PMP exam may include scenarios where you assess virtual team member requirements related to their environment or geographical location, sometimes the time zone and cultural differences. The correct responses to such questions is to by demonstrating an understanding of challenges like the language barriers or lack of face-to-face interaction or varying work hours And your solution should prioritize the adaptability to accommodate these diverse needs. Second key enabler here we have is to investigate alternatives for virtual team member engagement. The questions here may require you to explore and compare tools and strategies to enhance the virtual team engagement. This includes communication tools like Slack or Microsoft Teams, um, project management platforms like Jira or Trello or Monday, um, or a periodic, for example, collocation sessions for fostering stronger connections. Effective answers here will highlight the tools and method that aligns with the project goals and team dynamics. The third key enabler here we have is to implement options for virtual team members engagement. The PMP exam here will test your ability to execute strategies that address the engagement challenges. Remember, the correct responses will focus on implementing structured virtual meetings by leveraging collaboration tools and fostering uh, an adaptive environment. For example, using a video conferencing to build a rapid or scheduling overlapping work hours for the team collaboration. The last key enabler here we have is to continually evaluate the effectiveness of virtual team member engagement. Scenarios may require you to assess and improve the engagement strategies over time. Effective answers would emphasize by having a regular feedback from the team members or monitoring the productivity metrics. Also adjusting the approaches based on the team input and project needs. For instance, introducing gamification to boost the moral or adjusting communication schedule to accommodate different time zones. The final exam tip on this task is when you are answering PMP exam questions about the virtual teams, focus on strategies that address the unique challenges of remote work and emphasize the importance of clear communication, sensitivity, and continuous improvement. Use PMI recommended tools and techniques to foster collaboration and maintain alignment across geographically distributed teams. Task 12, define the team ground rules under the people domain. As we mentioned many times, when you're building a team or when you're developing a team, establishing team ground rules is essential for creating a positive, collaborative, and productive team environment. The PMP exam evaluates your ability to define, communicate, and enforce these rules while ensuring alignment with the organizational principles. The first key enabler here we have is to communicate organizational principles with the team and external stakeholders. The PMP exam may present scenarios where you need to align the team members and stakeholders with the organizational policies, values, and expected behaviors. Effective responses will emphasize the clarity and ensuring the let's say and addressing these principles and aligning your teams with these principles, such as the ethical conduct, respect, and accountability. And the tools here you can utilize is like the team charter or kickoff meeting are often recommended to establish the shared understanding. Next key enabler here we have is to establish an environment that fosters adherence to ground rules. The questions here at the PMP exam may require you to implement strategies that encourage compliance with ground rules. The correct answers will focus on fostering a supportive and respectful culture. This might include like modeling desired behaviors or providing training on organizational values and incorporating ground rules into team agreements or social contracts. The last key enabler we have is to manage and rectify the ground rules violations. The PMP exam may test your ability here to address violation of team ground rules effectively. Scenarios often involves conflicts or disruptive behavior that needs a resolution. Remember that effective responses should highlight the conflict management techniques, such as private discussions, root cause analysis, and coaching. Answers may also include escalation procedures for the recurring or repeated violations or breaches with the which has significant impact on the project outcomes. The final exam tip here is the PMP exam questions about the team ground rules focuses on proactive strategies um, to establish and maintain a respectful and aligned team environment. Emphasize communication, culture sensitivity, and conflict resolution technique to address the violations while preserving team cohesion and morale. Use PMI tools like Team Charter, Stakeholder Engagement Plan as a reference for aligning the expectations. Task 13. Mentor the relevant stakeholders under the people domain. Mentoring is a vital component of leadership that supports the growth and development of the team members and other stakeholders. The PMP exam will evaluate your ability to recognize and mentoring opportunities and effectively allocate time and resources to mentor the relevant individuals, including the stakeholders. The first key enabler here we have under this task is to allocate the time to mentoring. The exam scenarios may require you to balance mentoring with the other project responsibilities. Correct answers emphasize the prioritizing monitoring as integral leadership activity that enhances team performance and alignment with the project goals. Candidates should demonstrate the ability to schedule regular monitoring sessions, mentoring sessions, or integrate mentoring into day to day interactions. Also, managing the time effectively without impacting the project timelines. And the second key enabler here is to recognize and act on mentoring opportunities. And here, the PMP exam may test your ability to identify situations where mentoring can add a value, such as addressing the skill gaps, providing a guidance, or improving team dynamics. Effective responses to such questions will highlight the importance of proactive observation and communication. For example, you might recognize that a team member struggling with a task that could benefit uh, from mentorship on the best practices or tools. And the exam tip here is when you are answering PMP exam question about mentoring, focus on how mentoring aligns with the broader project and organizational goals. Highlight the benefits of mentoring, such as knowledge transfer or improved morals and enhanced stakeholder engagement. Also, do not forget to use the PMI uh, guide that emphasizes on servant leadership to frame mentoring as a key responsibility of the project managers. The next one and the last one under the people domain is the emotional intelligence. Under the emotional intelligence, promote your team performance through the application of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the cornerstone of effective leadership, enabling the project managers to understand and respond to the emotions of team members and stakeholders. The PMP exam will assess your ability to leverage the emotional intelligence to foster collaboration, or address challenges, also to enhance the overall team performance. We have two key main enablers here. First, you need to assess behavior through the use of personality indicators. The exam maybe will include scenarios that require you to evaluate the team dynamics using tools such as the personality assessment or behavior observation. And the correct answer will involve recognizing how individual personalities influence the communication, conflict resolution, and decision making. For instance, understanding that a team member is a detail oriented can help assign tasks that align with their strength. And the second key enabler here we have, and the last one, it's to analyze the personality indicators and adjust to emotional needs of key project stakeholders. And here you might face some questions that test your ability to adapt your leadership style based on personality traits and emotional needs. The effective responses emphasize the flexibility, such as offering constructive feedback to highly sensitive individuals in a private, supportive manner, or using motivational techniques tailored to individual preferences. The final exam tip here on the use of emotional intelligence to promote your team performance, we say that in the PMP exam scenarios involving emotional intelligence, will focus on demonstrating self awareness, empathy, and adaptability. Highlight strategies that align with the PMI emphasis on servant leadership, such as fostering trust, promoting open communication, and addressing the emotional needs of team members and stakeholders to drive the project success.